All right. Hangouts is live. Just waiting for good old YouTube to catch up. I don't know why it lags like that. I really don't. Come on, YouTube. There you go.
It's called latency, Rick. Look it up.
It's what?
It's called latency. Look it up sometime.
I will. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Let's restart that. Welcome, live from the crossroads of America. That's what I was trying to get out. A talk show about guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. You got any questions, put them in the chat, or email me at Rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. We are broadcasting on gun channels and YouTube at the moment. I have a Patreon page, and I got t-shirt and coffee mugs over at spreadshirt.com. Just type in, you can either type in Rick's Life as I see it, or Spotted Rick, or Rick's Life, and it should come up. So there we go. And
today, tagline.
You know, I got more to say at the end of the show too. I got a whole new spiel here, and I got it all typed out, hanging on my tripod here. So
don't take mine. Don't take my tagline.
Yeah. So anyway, I've got a panel so far of a bunch of suspects. You know, so we're I'm trying to do two things at once here, and I find it hard. We got people. Who we got in the chat? We got Jason, Midnight Range, Gun Loving Grandpa, and that's on Patriot in the Dark. I better mention him because he is there on YouTube so far. Then we got Digital Prophet, Artisan Tony, Patrick, and Sean on gun channels right now. Oh, Andrew Faulkner just came in. So there we go. And on the panel, let me introduce my panel here real quick. They got, the way it's lined up for me on my screen is David, the Kingpin Bowling. How you doing?
Hey, what's happening, Rick? Thanks for having me. I'm in a pretty bad spot, so I might be choppy throughout the show.
Okay. I forgot to turn off the phone. Forgot to silence the phone. There we go. Okay. Next on there is Night Strike. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I had to hit the button, but I'm doing good.
Okay, great.
I might jump out halfway through the show because Matt's doing a D&D session that a bunch of people are jumping into. So
a D&D.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Though. Nobody important's jumping over there, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, is he quarking me?
I think he may be quarking you just like the later half.
Well, just let him know when you jump out to do that. Just let him know what he's doing for me.
I will.
All right. Appreciate it. All right. Then we got the one and only Patriot in the Dark. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing great. Awful exhausted, but things would go smoother if you didn't have Night Strike sitting so close. Now, if he was a couple more seats away, it might have went a little smoother. But
yeah, but he's right next to you.
You have
he's right next to you.
You have no idea.
Hey, what makes it even worse for you, Patriot? The next person on the panel sitting right next to you.
Oh, I know. He's always cheating, looking at my paper.
You got Tony and Night Strike. You're stuck between the two of them here. You know? How you doing, Tony?
I'm rather offended at the moment. Nah, I'm doing good, man. Although I really think scrolling is the answer.
All right. All right. Do you have to leave to go pick up the wife or take her or whatever today?
Yes, I do, in about 10 minutes.
Then you'll be back, hopefully.
Unless she wants to do something more interesting. But I would never hold my breath for that.
Okay. All right. All right. The first question on my thing today, I abbreviated it on my little title there on the page, but this was one from David. He wanted to know what we think about, like, when you get old or you die. Like, if you're too old to shoot anymore, decrepit or whatever, or you pass away, have you made any provisions or what you're going to do with your guns, your firearms? So,
Yes.
David, you brought this up. You got an answer for yourself, or you want to know what you think?
Just giving them to my youngest nephew.
Okay. Well, you got him in the will that way, or what do they call it? Or they know they go to him.
No, I don't have a will or anything yet, but everybody knows that's my intention, and I'll get that all straightened out here shortly.
Okay. All right. What about you, Night Strike? Has he walked away?
I gotta find the mute button. I mean, jeez.
He's only done this a couple times. So
Yeah, I know.
he's new at this.
He's a newbie. So
It's the mute button. But actually, I've been considering setting up a trust and putting all my guns in a trust.
okay. And I mean, now here, I mean,
that way my family can't
trust.
That way my family can't sell off all the guns once they inherit them. You see what I'm saying? Because I want them to enjoy the firearms and use the firearms for as many of my descendants can without them selling it off because they just want some money.
Okay.
And I figured a gun trust would be good for that.
Yeah. All right. That's not a bad idea, actually. Patriot.
That's holistic. Damn it.
Well, hypothetically, they're probably going to seize them all after I rob those banks and drive away. But no, everything goes to my daughter. You know, she's probably the smartest one around, anyways, firearm wise, and she's 11. But yeah, I do have some provisions. I get stuff written out. I don't have anything notarized yet, but yeah, otherwise she might knock me off.
Yeah.
That's always an option, and hopefully that doesn't happen. So
yeah. So what about you, Tony?
I had a accurate list of who I wanted them to go to, which is my grandkids, but I need to update it again because I bought 8 guns since then, and I need to make it more accurate. Yeah, I've thought about this, and I've already told the old lady what I expect to be done with them. But unlike some others, they get them and want to sell them. That's theirs, man. It's up to them.
Yeah, you said your grandkids would. I mean, none of your daughters are into shooting.
They might be, but I don't care. I like the grandkids better.
Yeah, okay. Now myself, I've been thinking about. I've got it in writing, but as like Pedro said, I ain't got nothing notarized or anything. And I've also verbally told my oldest son that they were his, and he wasn't overexcited about it. I mean, he's gone down the range and when we were in Florida and shot guns with me, but he doesn't own any.
So you don't got to sleep with one eye open.
So we'll see. We'll see how that happens. But again, if they wanted to sell them, by all means, do it. I'm hoping they don't, but you never know.
I would if I could get by with it. I would give everything I own to my granddaughter. But
yeah,
that's another thing. Is it's good to if you have specific ones. If you don't have anybody to send them to or whatever. G was talking about that as far as like your little log books or whatever, right? Where the best place is to get rid of them if you do want to get rid of them, if they don't want to keep them. Because they just walk in and you have this old piece of junk, and it happens to be something.
Yeah. Now, pretty soon, who's ever the trust.
Did Rick just die on us?
Sound like it. freaks me out because I think
think
it's me that does that.
I think it was the cat. Cat got him.
Yep. They're fixing to scratch some kitty litter over his carcass.
But yeah, G was talking about doing the log books, as far as, spring replacements and different, maintenance or whatever, but also where you got it and kind of, who the best person is to have them contact if somebody does want to get rid of it. Because there are people that, if you don't want it, this person should have it kind of thing, kind of a hierarchy of, but I don't know. There's only a couple that I have that are anything more than, My
grandkids all like guns and shooting, so I'm sure that they're not going to sell them off. I ain't too worried about it, but if they do, they do. I don't care.
Now, what happens if, something does happen and whoever you're giving it to is under 18? Can they still get pistols and stuff? Yeah. I mean, does it just wait until they're 18 and then somebody gives it to you?
I would give it to them. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I was just wondering, if there was something that, if it goes as far as doing a will or something like that, if there's...
Christ, I gave her a rifle when she was 5.
Yeah. That's probably a good grandpa. You're supposed to do that.
Probably a little illegal here in Illinois. And when I seen that their parents weren't taking care of them, I have them back here now, but it still hurts.
Yeah, I just didn't know if something happened and then they're not 18 or they can't actually have it. What happens? Is there like a third person that will hold on to them until then? I mean, obviously, your wife or whatever, but
the wife. We have to have a FOID card to have guns here.
Oh, gotcha.
So the wife got a FOID card just in case.
Yeah.
I kick the bucket and she has to deal with all this stuff. She can. And then my daughters and son-in-laws all have FOID. So
I just mean, make sure you check on that. If anybody's out there thinking about, I'm just going to give it to my grandkid, if there's a time gap in there. Where does it go until they can actually have it or take possession? If there's a rule or something, because I know some places obviously they're gonna, no, they can't have it.
Yeah, Grandma's not gonna hand them out when I'm dead until she thinks that they're old enough to have them. So worry about that. She was a little opposed to be buying them the crickets. But
responsible grandmother. So.
Not necessarily. Just to friggin' prove these kids ain't gonna shoot somebody with them.
I was giving her the benefit of the doubt, but now you're throwing her under the bus. Good job.
I ain't giving them no damned ammo. And they're too young to buy it, so perfectly safe.
They can load their own.
Yeah, my daughter's kind of
the two youngest. Yeah, they can.
Yeah, I've showed my daughter all the different things, and she knows how to, safety and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I've been contemplating, stepping up and getting a rifle and stuff. Because for me, there's got to, usually there'll be a third person just to, keep an eye on her more than I can. Not that I need one when, we're doing something, but actually her mom came up with the idea of getting her paintball this summer. So either way, she's gonna be good.
There ain't nothing wrong with getting the kids good. Hell, it don't even have to be really good. Just
all right, I'm back.
22. You were gone?
Oh yeah, suit.
You guys noticed I was gone?
No.
Nah.
Hey, I mean, my computer crashed on me. I'm doing on my cell phone right now on my hotspot. I had a hotspot from my telephone. My internet's down. Bunch of crap.
I'll be back in a little while.
All right, see you, Tony.
Yeah, so sorry about that. I don't know if you guys. I mean, I was. Yeah. My computer crashed. My internet died. So I'm back. So.
Yeah, we were just talking about if your kids were, if you give it to somebody and they're underage, or there's not a time that they can have it until they're 18 or whatever. If you have a third person ready for kind of take possession and hold on to them for them. So
Yeah,
that's only in some situations, I'm sure, but
yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. What was next? Yeah. Now, how about? I mean, so you say you haven't died, but you're so old and feeble when you can't really pick up the gun to shoot anymore, or anything like that. What are you gonna do with them?
I guess I could thin them out, possibly. One here or there, but
yeah.
I don't plan. I don't plan on being that old where I can't use my finger.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could happen. So
yeah, I mean, one of my uncle here, I found out from his kids over the last few months. He knew he was dying from cancer, and he only had so long to live, and he had a huge gun collection. I mean, he started giving them out to his kids and family and stuff.
Yeah.
So by the time he went, there was only a couple left.
Yeah.
That his wife wanted. So
that's definitely something to think about.
Yeah. And you sure did bring up a morbid question there, David, but one that needed to be talked about, I think, because we all think we're going to live forever, but we're not. So,
yeah. And that's one of those things. I know a lot of people are touchy about logbooks and any kind of writing anything down, but it doesn't have to be. Nobody's got to know about it. And I always have a hard copy because I do one on Excel or on the computer, but I print it, and then you can keep them in safety deposit boxes because, insurance-wise, it's good to know all that stuff for.
Oh, I've got all mine written down there in my safe in my bedroom right now. Hard copy of what I've got.
Yeah, see, I keep several copies in different places just because, if somebody breaks in to steal my guns, what is it to grab that notebook or whatever? So
true.
I have computer copies, and then on hard drives, all that kind of nonsense. But it's not like I got a huge amount. But I don't. It is it's a good idea. Even with that maintenance thing, if your birthday rolls around or anniversary to swap out springs or depending on how much you shoot or whatever, it's kind of nice to have some kind of especially when something you don't shoot a lot. And you can't remember if you changed the springs, 5 years ago or 10 or whatever. So, I don't know. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Right, David, you got any more input? I think he's traveling or he's in his car working or something today.
Yeah, I'm stuck at work and like I said, I'm in a bad zone. Yeah, I just figured, it's something that my dad collects farm toy replicas and like gas pump replicas and different stuff like that. And he spent his whole life collecting this stuff. So we go to all these different sales, and I see people who have their collection of this or that, and they've put years and years of dedication into collecting it. And as soon as they die, the family just sells it for the cheapest price they can get. And I don't want that to happen to my guns. I'm like Night Strike. I want people to enjoy my stuff when I'm gone, and if it means, hey, they want to sell it because they need money to do something, then so be it. But I don't want them to just go right from my dead hands to the auction block.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I mentioned about, if somebody that knows the worth of something or, that you trust that, in case they do, because you never know, they might have, something that comes up and it's pertinent that they take care of that, that situation or whatever,
Yeah. Okay. Moving on, since there's only two of us left in here, or three, David and you, Patriot, and myself. my next thing, I mean, I cut it real short because the one thing bad about YouTube is when it comes to the title of your videos, they only give you 100 characters. And that includes spaces and commas and everything, are all counted. So I couldn't get everything in there I wanted. I think what I got in there is a couple of question marks about everyday carry 1911, I think is how I worded it, which may have questions about carrying a 1911. And I mentioned this in, hey, Sean, good to see you.
Afternoon. Sorry I'm late.
Yeah. I mentioned this in the daily chat. Where I was going is like on my Smith & Wesson M&P 45, which I carry, which is my carry gun, has a manual safety on it. But I have noticed sometimes I'll go out and when I go out, the gun's in the holster, blah blah blah, I do everything, and I come home. When I come home, I have to come out, and I take the gun off or whatever. I've noticed that my Michelins around my stomach here, right, somehow have pushed the safety off. It doesn't matter with that M&P because the way it is, right? But if I was carrying a 1911, I mean, because you carry those cocked and locked, right? So if that safety goes off, I got my dangerous gun sitting there on my hip.
Well, the safeties are a little different, right? I don't know about the M&P. Isn't is that switched down the same direction? And it's just a little thing, isn't it?
It is.
Kind of like the shield. I know those that have it are just a small little tab or whatever.
Oh, but that one on the it's a small one, and we were talking about this yesterday. The one on the 1911 is a bit harder to push down.
Now, is your holster? Does it have like the sweat guard that covers that part?
No.
Oh, okay. Like where I carry that P238, and it's got the ambidextrous safety, but it's got that flap that goes higher on that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And then that protects because if it's in the holster nice and tight, it's not going to be moving back and forth on it. You might have a little bit, but nothing. Yeah.
But then again, if the safety's off on the 1911. Well, I mean, if the other, like the safety is on the back of the grip and stuff, that's got to be pressed for it to fire too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if the safety's off, I mean, of course, when you pull the gun out your holster, you shouldn't have your finger on the trigger anyway. So, I mean, I think it would only become dangerous if it's still on my hip and the safety was clicked off. The gun is still safe because the safety on the grip hasn't been depressed. That's what I'm thinking. Or am I wrong here? You gun experts.
Your trigger's covered. I would just make sure you have a correct type holster that covers that. Yeah. I mean, I don't.
So, Sean, what do you think?
Well, if you're having trouble with your body actually engaging the safety, then it's probably time to consider getting another holster that covers it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back to what I was. You're right. I'm going to look into a different holster if I'm going to start carrying. But I'm planning on buying the 380. So this is just a hypothetical. I'm thinking, really.
Yeah.
But if the safety is cocked, and the safety is on, it's cocked and everything, and you put it in your holster, but during the day, my big fat stomach somehow rubs against it and switches the safety off. Now, is it still safe because you got to push that safety on the handle, on the grip down, don't you?
On the EZ, yes.
No, on the EZ, on the
1911. Yeah, you
Yeah.
do. You have to pull the trigger as
thing
well.
About the 1911 though, is that beaver tail safety is a joke. Like you can blow on it and make it go in.
Oh, okay.
It moves so little, and it takes such little effort to move that. So I mean, if you're carrying your 1911 like seriously, then I would probably look into a different holster. If you like leather, I usually recommend this company called Fist Holsters. Dr. No turned me onto that. There's a guy up in New York. He does really, really good work.
Your sound's terrible today, Sean.
What's that?
Your sound's terrible today.
It's a different headset.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so I come in here in the middle of an external safety discussion. Great timing. Okay, I want to know what kind of gun has got this floppy, loose safety selector that if you so much as breathe on it, it goes from off to on.
First of all, you need to rewind a little bit and listen to what was said. He was saying his MMP, when he's wearing it, sometimes the safety disengages, but that's because it's against him and it's not covered by his holster. He was asking if the 1911, if that safety accidentally disengaged, would it be too dangerous or whatever? But if you have a correct
engaging
holster,
or disengaging, because usually the argument I hear is, I'm going to go to draw it, and the safety is going to engage while I draw it.
Yeah, that's not what
I have never seen a handgun holstered inside the waistband, outside the waistband, open carry, concealed carry, whatever. I've never seen one where somebody has rubbed the safety and somehow engaged it or disengaged it while carrying it or drawing it.
Okay, well, you just listen to Rick.
I'm not talking about a 1911 now. I'm talking about my M&P 45 with a thumb safety on it. I'll have the thumb safety on. I put it in the holster. A few hours later, I come home, and my big Michelins around my gut here, I pulled the gun out, and I noticed the safety has been switched off.
Yeah, but it's not being covered.
1911, because in 1911 you carry cocked, right?
It's just his holster doesn't cover the safety, and throughout, just rubbing, because it's just a small little tab if it's like the shield. I mean, it's just a little thing anyway. But it wasn't about it being a danger. I mean, it was about being a danger, but not what
okay, because I guess the way I hear a lot of people talk about that stuff, I'm thinking of this loose, wiggly knob on the side of the gun that just flops, and it's like,
no, that's not what we're talking
click.
About.
It's not wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. It's click, click. So I guess there's a lot of force being pushed against there then, Rick.
But since I spoke about this in the chat, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I can't remember, is the safety on my on my M&P, to push it down on and off is very light. Doesn't take a lot. My one on my 1911 is a lot bigger and stiffer.
Yeah.
To switch it off and on.
But if you had a holster that had that sweat guard, or the leather portion would come up higher and cover that, you wouldn't have that same rubbing on it. It would be, between, you'd have that piece in between, and that if it fits tight in your holster, unless you got a really loose holster or something, if you have that piece that's up there, it's not going to rub on your belly. That's just going to rub on the outside of the holster. It's not going to change anything. So, all right. I would just look at a different holster.
Plus what I was saying, Squid, say for argument's sake, my big old fat stomach switched off the safety on the 1911 if I was carrying it. Is it still safe, because doesn't the safety on the grip have to be pushed down as well for it to fire?
I trust mine. I mean, as long as it's well maintained, I would say yes, but I mean, individual results may vary. I mean, if you got some cheap ATI 1911 or something, it may not work, but
Yeah, as long as you got the correct holster, I wouldn't be concerned. Now I have, like I said, with that SIG, I've got the Equinox where it's the ambidextrous, and so the side towards the holster is covered, but the other side's exposed or whatever, and I've never had an issue where I'm pretty. I'll climb all around everything. It doesn't bother me, but it doesn't have that grip safety either. So, but the trigger is covered, so who cares?
Squib is reloading. Yes, Vanessa wanted to know why you were reloading. I think that's
why.
Squib.
I think she just meant who.
Because I have kids, and they cost a lot of money to take to the range. That's why I'm reloading.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, did you get that package?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay. I couldn't remember it, and I thought it was you, but I wanted to make sure. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Matter of fact, between the stuff that I got from you and from Gizzard Gary, I was talking to Angelina, and she may be getting into the button business, or the little pin-on buttons.
Yeah.
I just thought it was kind of cool because I got one from Gizzard Gary last week. It's got his logo. It's only about 3/4 of an inch across, but they're metal, and it's got his logo, right? And I thought, man, wouldn't that be cool if I had one from every Gun Channels member so I can, like, litter it all over my range bag? I think that would look really cool.
Yeah.
So she looked into the machine. I think she's getting one.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
My daughter's pretty much taken most of my buttons, the I love guns and all that stuff, but she's got a hat that she's got them all over.
Yeah. Now, okay, we discussed my 1911. My next thing. I know I said something about politics on my title, but I'll get to that. But my next thing, I mentioned this on the chat too during the week. But Brownells are advertising. Let me put it this way: as a gun community or culture, whatever you wish to call yourself, and we know it, we say the AR-15, A40, AK-47s, and variants are not military weapons. Okay? But then Brownell is advertising, because they sell guns now, they're retro firearms. Fire the gun that your grandfather or your father used in Vietnam. Now, to me, that ain't helping the cause any.
Well, then you ain't going to like me, because an AR-15 and a Wasser 10 are military weapons.
That's what I'm saying. Is a lot of people saying when it comes up, it's an assault. When people say it's an assault rifle, it's
not an assault rifle, but it is a military or military style rifle. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, according to the anti-gunner and stuff, to them that's the same thing as an assault weapon.
It doesn't even matter. Let it be an assault rifle. I don't see a problem with somebody owning a selective fire weapon. I think if you had an M16, between the cost of the ammo or the fact that on auto it jams all the time, you're going to be awful dang disappointed. But literally, the difference between an AR-15 and an M16, for the most part, is selective fire. Oh, it's off by a couple ounces because of a few less parts. It's the same damn gun. So let them say that.
I think, especially like with the reproductions or whatever. I mean, they are calling it that, right? That it's a reproduction. Isn't that just like buying a brand new Walker? I mean, it's obviously
my Colt Walker is a reproduction. The parts are not 100% interchangeable, but it's as close as you're going to get, short of actually owning a real one. So
I mean, that's the whole idea, is that it's just like you can buy a kit car Ferrari if you can't afford the real one. I mean, I wouldn't.
Rick, there's a demand for this, and Brownells is stepping up to the plate. They're making these things in America, and let the NIs say what they want to say. What you can do is you can say, where in the Second Amendment does it say right to bear arms as long as the military hasn't used them? Right to bear arms as long as it's not a reproduction. Right? If anything, you could use that to say, well, they say it's a military weapon, but it really isn't because it doesn't have selective fire. But that's as close as I'm going to get. I mean...
Oh yeah, what I'm saying is, as a community, we got to do one or the other. It is or it isn't. I think we should say it is what it is, like you're saying, Squib.
Well, here's the thing: somebody will cite a Supreme Court case where they're saying that sawed-off shotgun has to be NFA because the military didn't use it, and then there's another case where I guess. They're saying sawed-off shotguns were used in combat by the military, so it is a military weapon. It isn't, and all they're trying to do is get sawed-off shotguns off the NFA, and they're citing the case. And I think what it is people in our community will cite whatever laws are out there, or case or history or whatever it is they need to say to get what they want. If you want suppressors off the NFA, you're going to say, oh, well, it's a safety device. It's not a safety device. I mean, yeah, it can be used as a safety device, but it's not an assassin's tool either. But that's what the anti-gunners think. I think it's better to say it's not an assassin's tool. But when we go, oh, you've got to use it because if they made guns today, if they started making them today, they weren't invented before today, suppressors would come standard on. It's like, no. But then again, when the Supreme Court says stuff like it's not covered by the Second Amendment because it's an accessory. Well, it's mounted on the firearm. I would consider that part of being covered by the Second Amendment. So I think that some people argue a certain point just to get what they want, and to hell with everybody else. I mean, that's why you've got that division.
Did you say an AR-15 is a military weapon?
What was that, Sean?
Did Squibb actually say that the AR-15 is a military weapon?
It is. Yep.
Can you name one country that uses it as an adopted military weapon? One. Give me one. Give me one country that has adopted the AR-15 semi-automatic rifle as a military weapon. Because if nobody's adopted it, you cannot classify it as such.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you this. I was in the military at an M16A2. My AR-15, my first AR-15 is identical to that M16A2 with one exception. I mean, it literally uses GI parts. One exception. It doesn't have select fire. I rarely used select fire in the military because it's an actual hindrance to the firearm. It actually makes it work worse. So my AR-15A2 is actually better than the M16A2 I was given.
Right.
But it's the same damn gun. I mean, in my opinion, it is the same gun. I had this discussion with Smeggy once, and he was going, well, the military used full auto all the time. So that's why. And I'm going, no, actually, Smeggy, we rarely used full auto on a select fire gun. What? Oh, great. You ruined my argument. It's like, well, sorry, dude, but that's the truth of it. Is you rarely use full auto or burst if you had that select fire capability.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You cannot help the other side by saying it is what it is not. Because Caitlyn Jenner's not a woman, because there is one key difference also. You can't do that. You cannot do that.
Remington 700 is a military weapon.
It's a weapon that's inspired by a military weapon.
No, it's a military weapon. Savage Model 70, military weapon. I mean, we can just go on and on with how many civilian guns have been used by the military.
It has not been officially adopted by the military in any country.
Really? Well, I guess the Marine Corps is not an official branch of any military in any country.
The AR-15 has not been adopted as a military weapon in any country.
Look, dude, I'm not worried about some anti-gunner who has no clue about anything about guns on that particular thing. Other things, sure, I'm a little bit concerned. But as far as I'm concerned, if you set up the AR-15 identical to an M4, or M16, or whatever, and the only thing it doesn't have is selective fire, big freaking deal. We rarely used it. It's the same damn gun. And you go, well, you're not allowed to have those. Show me where it says in the Constitution the right to bear arms, except what's been adopted by any military throughout history, blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, your MILSERP, your SMLE, we're going to take it because it was used at one point by the military. You see what I mean? It goes both ways.
There we go. You got any input in that, David? Is he there?
No.
Here I come.
Were you listening to the discussion there?
Yeah, as far as the suppressors, I think that if you woke up today and guns were just invented today, I totally think a suppressor would be a mandatory safety equipment. Maybe it's not feasible to think about it now because of where we are, but wake up tomorrow when this new invention guns are around and the type of climate we have, I definitely think they'd be a mandatory safety equipment. And is a AR-15 a semi-automatic AR-15 like I've got 2 of them in my closet, a military weapon? I wouldn't want to go to the military with it, but I'm a civilian, so I don't really know.
I would do better with any of my AR-15s in the Marine Corps than that piece of crap they gave me out of the Armory.
Well, that's why I'm saying I've never been in the military, so I can only go by what Squibby's saying or Patriot's saying because I don't have that, but I also understand what Sean is saying too. Caitlyn Jenner is not a man, no matter how much you want it to be.
Woman.
And if no military's ever said this is our weapon, then I don't think it really does us any good to call it a military style weapon.
Yeah, okay. All right.
This argument never gets made about the Mini 14 or the Mini, was it the Mini 30? They never talk about those. They look like M14s. They act like M14s. It's a weapon inspired by another weapon. That's very different than this is a weapon that was used in war. This was not adopted by an official military flying an official flag of an official country. And as soon as you stop letting them have that argument of that's a military, the fact that we hyphenated weapons in the first place is ridiculous. Okay, we couldn't let them get assault weapon because we defined it to them to the death. We're like, show me the select fire on this gun, and they couldn't. So then they changed it to assault style weapon, and we let them get away with that. And now we're talking about that's a military weapon, and it's like, show me a military that carries that. Show me an outfit. Show me a whole company of men holding one of those. You can't. So then they turn around and they go, military style weapon.
Okay, here's my thing. You should be allowed to have a military weapon, a military style weapon, a civilian style weapon. Hell, any weapon.
You're right, because when they put together the Second Amendment, when they put together the Bill of Rights, they put that in there specifically because the average man should be able to defend himself against a tyrannical government, which has a tyrannical military, which has tyrannical military weapons, which means you have to be on equal footing with your aggressor. So none of that should have even been an argument. But because we keep letting people hyphenate shit and constantly pick and choose what they want to do to us,
Sean,
it's not for debate.
But the people on our side aren't representing our side well. Listen to some of the things people say and cut right down to the nitty gritty. They're saying one thing and one thing only. I want my toy. They're not saying that they want their weapon because they believe in the Second Amendment, because they want to stop the government, deter the government from being tyrannical, or whatever it is. People are saying, I want my toy. That's all they talk about. And you go, no, they don't say that. Cut right through what they're saying, how they're saying it, the message what they're talking about. They want their cool toy. I don't see anything wrong with having your cool toy, but when you come at it from that side, that does more damage to our argument than bickering over terminology. And even though I'm a stickler for terminology, if people would stop approaching it from the whole I want my toy attitude, anti-gunners might look at us a little different.
I don't know, man, because like what you're saying is people are like, yo, I want my silencers, and another group's like, yo, I want my full autos, and like another group is like, yo, I want my short barrel rifles, right? And the fact of the matter is all of them should come together and say, I want my liberty to be left alone. If they united on that front alone, they would be a much larger and more contendable force. Unfortunately, because the way that the people who work against us chip away in categories, people on our side tend to fight for just the categories. They fell into their game.
Well, and it doesn't really do us any good saying that I want my recreational nukes because the government's got them and I need to protect myself from a tyrannical government. Because we've all said it to people, and those people have looked at us all and laughed and said, ha, 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 yeah, right, the government's coming after you. You got a tinfoil hat on. So there is no right or wrong argument, because if you argue, I'm going to defend myself against the government, they're going to call you crazy. If you say, I want my toys, then they're going to say your toys kill babies. So
yeah,
sticking to any argument that they base us on, any argument that you can't win an argument arguing on the side of the person you're arguing with. When you go into a debate or an argument, you have to control it. That's the only way you're going to win it. And we've not done that. An assault pistol. 2013, I thought the assault pistol was the first time it had been mentioned was when Dianne Feinstein just did this. Then I went back and looked into Maryland law, and in 2013, Martin O'Malley used the term assault pistol, and we're going to let him get away with it. 2 or 3 years from now, every time you hear about a gun, it's going to be an assault pistol if we let him get away with it.
You're right. You're right. So, anybody got anything else on that? Because I want to do my. Change the subject totally, and we can go back to it if you want to, but it's gone 3:30, so 3:45 actually. My quiz for last week. I only had 3 entries, so I didn't think the question was that hard.
I didn't want to get robbed, so I didn't do one.
So the actual question was: Tom Horn was found guilty of murdering a 14-year-old, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's debate on what caliber of rifle was used, but what I asked was, what was the make and model of the weapon he had on him when he was arrested? And the answer is a Winchester Model 1894 30-30 is what he had on him when he was arrested. Some say it was a different caliber that he actually shot. The kid was shot with. So, I mean, that's been debated ever since it happened. So, but that isn't what the question was. What did he have on him? And it's fact. It was a 30-30. So, there we go. So, let me go to my range dandy picker here with my 3 entries in it, and let's hit the draw button. Rich White is the winner.
Hey, congratulations.
So that was for some Spartan Arm stickers, and my it's got 2 good stickers in here. The best one is mine. Then we have the Tactical Pickle one. But I think one of the best prizes in this little package is the Chairs Against the Wall patch. So that's what you want, Rich. I'll get it out to you. And I have another quiz at the end, toward around 4 o'clock-ish, or just a little after. Well, I can do it now because it's almost 4 now anyway. So, for my question for today, I have a whole bunch of stuff here too. I got a whole bunch of stuff here. I got a No Light patch, Eddie Eagle sticker, some cards here, my sticker, of course, my little trading card, a pancake and bacon sticker, and a bunch of Spartan Arm stickers here. So that's for this week's. And also, I did receive. I sent him an email. I received a whole package of stickers and patches from Grandpa Stanley. Here, thank you very much to give away. So let me go. Hey, I lost all my stuff. Where is it? Okay. Sorry about this. I'm trying to get my stuff back in order. Here we go. All right. All right. The question for today's quiz. Everybody ready? It's kind of a long-winded one. Going back to the Old West again this week. Billy Dixon. Right? At the, I think it was the, what was it? Toby Wells' second battle, where he shot the famous shot. Now, the way he said in his autobiography was he had lost his big 50 sharps, but he grabbed a friend's to make that infamous shot he made. I want to know what caliber that sharps was. Also, in the battle of the Buffalo Wallow, I want to know what happened there, what he did there, and what happened. Or should I say what happened? What's the word I'm looking for? How was he recognized from that battle? So that's it. So I want to know what caliber sharps he used to make that infamous shot, and how was he recognized in the Battle of the Buffalo Wild? That one, you might say, well, that's a crazy one. No, but it's not that bad, really. I can give you a hint if you want me to. Think I should give him a hint or not?
No. Make him work for it.
Okay. Work for it. Like I had to this morning.
Yeah.
So. All right. That's the question for this week's. And you email. It's an email question. It's email to Rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. And you got to next Saturday lunchtime to get your answers into me. Okay.
Excellent.
All right. So we want to keep discussing that thing, or do we want to move on to another topic? Because I got another one.
Go for it.
It basically, it's a sideline to what we were talking about. But
I got something for you. Something for you.
All right.
You got people in the chat?
We got people in the chat yet?
Okay, on both sides?
It's only Patrick on Gun Channels right now.
Okay, well, I'm going to do a little giveaway here. All right?
All right.
It's a little trivia question. Oh, shoot. I got to tell you. Let me email you real quick the answer, because obviously I can't see the damn answer. I always come up with these good things and then forget what I can't see that. So, all right, let me email you the thing. Just talk amongst yourselves, and then we'll get back and I'll send out some
all right
stuff.
Okay, now the thing I was going to talk about, it's more likely a real quick answer, so it ain't going to take up a lot of time. It's back to, like, you're talking suppressor or silencer, whatever you wish to call it. I believe in calling it a silencer because that's what it was originally named. But anyway, besides, I can get in that debate. But what I want to know, do you have to have one of those $200 things for every one, or is that good for a bunch of them?
Every one.
Each individual one.
So each individual suppressor you buy, you've got to have one of those $200 licenses or whatever they call it.
Yep.
Yes.
That sucks.
Yes, it
Now,
does.
When I was over at Primary Arms today, I heard something quite interesting. You can apply for stamps slightly ahead of time before the seller even gives you the serial numbers of the parts you're stamping. You can get the process started. Because there's going to be a wait no matter what. I was there today. That's why I'm showing off what I got today.
Oh, okay.
I bought two.
That dog's going to bite you.
See?
Okay.
It's not a giveaway. Not yet, at least.
Not a giveaway?
Yeah.
No, not
It's
until
definitely good to see the dog's not biting you.
He hates me. He shit in my boot this morning.
He done what?
He shit in my boot this morning. he tipped it over, backed that ass up, and he shit in my boot this morning.
I mean, the person who had that dog before you didn't train it very well.
No. Well, he's a baby. He's only 7 months old. Trying to find him a breeding pair female to adopt or whatever. So they can grow up together.
I still ain't got the email yet from Patriot, so we're still
Trying
waiting.
to get him laid, so hopefully he won't stay pissed off. I know what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay, we can stop in the middle of this one, but my next question.
So,
Yeah, go on.
I got a real quick question. Silencer. What would happen if you made suppressor and be caught in possession of said suppressor?
You're going to federal prison.
If you made your own?
Yeah.
Hypothetically, of course.
I didn't hear that. You're a robot.
If I'm not mistaken, if you make your own, you have to send the ATF a sample of what you have first, serialize it, and then apply to be able to keep it. But don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure it's something along those lines of, well, if you're going to make it, you have to send us one and then ask for permission.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong, though.
What about the guy that, isn't there a state that as long as you keep it in state and you never leave, Wasn't there something?
No,
just going on?
they're fighting that right now because that's
There's too many people
unconstitutional.
talking. One at a time.
Kansas tried that,
Okay.
but they're fighting it now in court.
Yeah, because of being the interstate commerce or something?
I'm not sure the legalities, but basically the feds say, you know, what's against federal law is against federal law everywhere.
Like, real quick, Patriot, I got an email from you telling me what your what the prize is.
No, that isn't the prize. That's the 3. They have to get 2 of those 3.
Oh, okay, I'm with you.
So I couldn't tell you. So
okay.
Is everybody ready? As Tony's better half used to say. No,
hang on a minute. Let me put the. Should I put the answer in the side chat for the rest of the panel team so they can help me?
Sure.
They can help me check.
Sure.
Pink says you're getting thumbs up for my dog.
All right. And again, here. Put this down here. What happened? Why didn't it show up?
Because you put it in the regular chat and everybody else can see it now.
The dog's looking around like, how do I get
hang on.
out of here?
Oh, God damn it.
Did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I'm just having, for some reason, there we go. You see that? Did I go in the chat?
You're on mobile. Yeah.
You see those 3 things there?
Yeah,
Are you
3 times.
So one of the 2?
Yeah, no
2 of the 3.
Yes. 2 of the 3.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. On my Core Essentials belt review video, give me 2 of the 3 patches that we're laying out on the video.
You expect people to remember that?
Hey, no, they got keyboards and mouses and all sorts of eyeballs, all sorts of stuff. They can figure that out.
Now this is going on. This is a live quiz. They got to put the answer in the chat, right?
Yep.
Okay. Nothing's come up yet, so they're more likely all searching. You know. So we lost some people. I think they moved over to.
No, they probably went to look at that video. So don't.
Could be, or being course by what you call it anyway. Never enough ammo. And doesn't what you call it come up soon? G-Web's university thing is Minuteman University.
Yeah, it's today, but I don't know what time. I think he might just be out there watching us. So get in your best behavior.
As far as like, as far as the G-Web stuff goes, like the Minuteman University does on Tuesdays and on Saturdays.
Yeah.
People out in the chat should tune into that because there's a lot of really solid information that you can get there. And if you're not looking for solid information, sometimes it's just good conversation. So definitely tune in and check that stuff out. G-Webs is doing a lot of really cool stuff over there. And it's interesting and it can be helpful. So people should check it out.
Seven Wonders put in a couple, but he was totally wrong. So I think he was just guessing.
He's used
but
to
nobody else has tried yet.
Yeah, it's all right. It's okay.
All right.
Don't bother me. We'll do it next week.
Yeah.
I'll take a guess. I'll go with Al and Anchor and Obnoxious One.
No.
No, but mind you, let's call it. Yeah, no, nobody's put it in the chat yet. So,
okay.
Has anybody got anything else? Oh, okay. Here's one for you preppers. Did we lose Squib? Oh no, he's there. Like I think Tony has said it, and I think Squib has said it. Is that if something hits the fan or some disaster, you plan on staying at home? Have you got any contingency if your home is destroyed by fire or tornado or something like that?
Dinosaurs.
You're talking about Site B plans?
Yes. Because you guys were saying you were going to be at home. So I was just wondering what the B plan was. Tony.
I got 4 daughters, man. I'll go crash with one of them.
I'll probably be at my neighbor's house because they don't have firearms.
They all live in 4 different houses, or 4 different towns, so odds of them all getting hit are pretty slim.
Pretty sure in my situation, my house is Site B. My uncle's place is actually closer in town, so he'll end up being here.
No, okay. All right. What about you, Squib? I don't know if Squib's still there or not because his pictures froze.
No, it ain't. He's moving
around.
Well, he's frozen online.
Okay, I don't understand the question. Has SHTF happened, or I just need a place to stay because my house burned down?
Both.
No, I'm talking about if shit happened.
Okay. If SHTF happens and there's obviously no fire department, no police department, I don't have a job to go to, we're hunkered down in the house waiting for whatever, and the house burns down, then yes, I have a location to go to. If normal life happens and the house burned down, I have this thing called insurance, so we'd be living in a hotel for a while.
No, I'm talking about if shit happened, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, anybody else got a plan?
Yeah, actually, I guess in my situation it'd be Site C, but if things went down like that, there are places you can go to. Like, for instance, in my part of Texas, I can always just retreat to, say, Matagorda Island because it's like 30 miles of beachfront, nothing. You know, like you can just go there and like camp out if you had to and just wait things out.
Until the whole town of Houston does the same thing.
Nah, dude. The whole town of Houston is going to get stuck in gridlock on I-45 or 290, and they're all going to get nuked. So I'm far enough away from all that so I can actually take the back roads.
I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan A or plan B right now.
You're at like Site F. Like, you're the place where 10 people or where people go after their 10th option is expired. Which is good.
Right. I mean, like,
nobody's going to strike. No one is going to send missiles in your direction.
Yeah, there's nothing there to destroy. I mean,
which is
not
awesome.
worth a missile.
Which is awesome because I know if we end up going,
there's a naval weapons center near him.
Now, if we end up going to his place, we're eating good because Debs is awesome.
Where's the naval weapons center at?
It's in South Central Indiana. Isn't it Crane Naval Weapons Center?
Hell, I don't know.
Thought so.
You better go blow that
down there in Indiana.
Guy that comments is screwed. He's in LA. Like he'll be. We're gonna get the news that his city was destroyed, so we'll know to motivate and to mobilize.
Okay, so here's one. HVS brings this up all the time. Proximity to a nuclear generating station. I know we really need Gary Gizzard in here for that one, but Rick, you're just like me. You're right next to a nuclear power plant. So could that be a problem?
I didn't even know I was near one.
It's right there on the river.
Good. Yeah, there is, isn't there? I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
I have 2 within 100 miles of me, but they're both shut down.
Yeah, but there's still got to be radioactive shit there.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but what it gets destroyed and all that radioactivity escapes?
Very rarely does the wind come to the area I'm at from the east. And they're both east of me.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
you guys are going to be fucked, but I'm not.
Hey, if the nuclear plant's okay, I'll be safe because nobody else will come down this way.
At some point, you just got to say God wants me dead. So here we go.
Yeah. No.
Shush.
Yeah. So Andrew Faulkner says I can ride it out because of the nuclear plant near the river. I can eat two-headed fish. Yeah. Nobody's answered your question there, by the way, Patriots.
Oh, I know. I'm looking at them. They're out there just talking about lame stuff.
Yeah.
That's all right.
That's okay. No problem.
Shush.
No. Guys,
you got an intruder?
He's pissed. His woman isn't home, so he's really pissed.
You got to go put your boots up.
All right. Moving on to my next topic. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I talked about this one, I think, in the chat, too. I'm bringing it up. When you go to prison for a crime, you lose your right.
Did you look on gun channels on that chat? I'm sorry. Pink said to look over there.
Oh, yeah, he's put on here, not for your quiz,
for,
for Indiana targets and all that good stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got that, oh, shit, there's quite a few down near me. Damn, we're fucked. I'll go back to that later and look at it. All right. Now back to right. So you're put in prison. Let's say it's a federal crime, a felony. Okay. So you lose your rights. Now you lose the right to vote, don't you, when you're in prison?
For felonies.
For a felony, yes.
But if it was a misdemeanor, you can vote from prison.
I don't know if you can vote while you're in prison. I'm sure the Democrats would let you.
One guy got voted for while he was in prison. I know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So when you come out of prison, right? I'm assuming you're right. I'm assuming when you go into prison, all your rights are taken away from you. You know, I'm assuming.
You only get the most basic of civil rights while you're in prison, but yeah.
Okay. So when you
Good job, Andrew.
All your rights are given back to you except the right to vote and to bear arms, correct?
Those are definitely suspended.
Now, my question, I took U.S. history when I went to school, American schools and shit like that. And I learned a little bit about it in English schools, but not a great deal. Right? But so how did that come about? Who decided that you lose your rights forever? It had to be a law passed, correct?
I think that's constitutional somewhere.
Is it? Personally, I think you should have all your rights back because if you're good enough to get, if they let you out of prison after you've done your time, somebody said it in the chat. Shouldn't that have said? Now, how did you word it?
If you're safe enough to be out on the street, you're safe enough to have your rights back.
Yeah, and if you're not safe enough to be out in the street, you shouldn't be out. Yeah, that makes sense to me. What about you guys? What do you think? David?
Well, I just want to say Andrew Faulkner, he won. So, just saying.
What do you mean he won?
Look in the YouTube chat. The blind guy seen it. Right?
Oh, yes, I see it now. Okay. Yeah, he did.
All right.
He won.
Yeah, as far as getting is getting your rights back. I agree. If you're not safe enough to be on the street, I mean, if you're safe enough to be back out on the street, then you should be safe enough to get your rights back. And as far as like Plan B, I live too close to Washington, so if they start dropping nukes, then I'm a dead man.
Yeah, yeah. You are screwed, really.
There are to be about 1,000 government bunkers around you somewhere. You can find door.
Yeah, but they're all for the government people.
Oh yeah, those government come right in.
You know, they ain't gonna let David in. He'd be pounding on the door, let me in, let me in. They're gonna go, screw you. You know. So, but on the but back to the other question: how did we lose? I mean, is it constitutional that you lose your rights, or was it a law passed? Is what I want to know. Anybody in the chat know?
Every state, with the exception of Maine and Vermont, prohibits felons from voting while in prison. So 2 out of 48 states actually still allow it.
Oh, hang on. Since Pink put in there, since 1968, felons are regarded by the federal government and most U.S. states as being prohibited persons under U.S. Law 18, United States Code 922. You know?
So is that all tied into the GCA of 68?
Yeah. I just think
Section 922.
You know, but I mean, but what I'm saying is, but if they say they done something wrong and they're arrested again, they got their rights back, like, you know, due process and all this other bullshit.
I'm sort of with you guys on the fact
that I'll give them back to you, correct? You haven't lost all that. You know,
I think if you did your time and you didn't have any priors and if they let you out, you've paid your debt to society. That's what incarceration is supposed to be, right? They're not supposed to be prisons. They're supposed to be what they call correctional facilities. You're supposed to be there because you did something wrong. You're supposed to prove to society that you can be a functional member of society. And then once you've completed your program or your time in that program, then, yeah, I think, if anything, in the least, they should at least have a hearing like they do for parole. And they'll say, look, this guy was a model prisoner. He did his time. He spent, you know, he didn't give anybody any trouble. Guy made a mistake. Some people have gotten their rights restored, but generally that requires like expungements of charges or whatever, and they make it deliberately difficult to exclude people. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think if you do your time and you've done everything right, and if they had like a review, even if they had a review that involved like, say, the warden and like the guards that are in circulation in your part of the prison or whatever, and they can all testify that, look, you did your time, you didn't cause any trouble, and you went in and out of the system like just normal prisoners. I'm sure like at least 75% of people who go into jail for like first-time offenses, they come out, they learn from their mistakes. They're not going to do it again because they never want to go back. And those people shouldn't be disenfranchised, I guess is a good way to put it. That is a big cat. Your cat could eat my dog.
Oh, you see him? Yeah.
Yeah.
He is a big cat.
Yeah, Andrew, if you just email me at patriotinthedark@gmail.com, send me your address, and I'll get something out to you.
And if you got any complaints, shooting left of center at gmail.com. That's the complaints department. Okay. Oh, Pink's put a link in my gun channel chat for that statute under the United States Code. Okay, I'll look at that later too. Man, that guy's full of information, I tell you. You know?
Can I give you guys like just a little filler cool story?
Yes.
Okay, so you know, if you listen to us in the morning and we do the lobby, sometimes you have to put up with listening to me talk to my coworker George, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, George did me a super solid. I'm going to show you this. I probably put it on camera once already, but just to give you an idea, I built this pistol for George. It's an Aero Precision upper and lower match set. This is an SBPDW brace. It's actually got some really good stuff in here, right? I built this for him, and I brought it to him the day, I got back to work, and the first words out of his mouth were, "Let me take a look at that." "Oh yeah, that's really cool. You can keep it." And he gave it to me right then and there. He bought all the parts, and he gave it to me because I've built him 1 rifle and 3 pistols so far, and all he wants in return is he wants me to build him 2 more, which is why I took the time today to go to Primary Arms. I bought 2 Black Crane Ordnance lowers. I'm going to build him a couple of rifles that eventually will be his. But I thought it was really cool. He gave this to me. Out of the blue.
Now, hang on the front of that pistol, what's that on the front of it?
I just threw that Atlas on there as a joke. I put the bipod on it as a joke. Like it's
okay.
On there.
Okay. All right. As I was saying, what the hell you got a bipod on the goddamn pistol? Yeah. All right. Anybody got anything else you want to talk about? Because I've run out of questions. Well, okay. The next thing, we've already discussed it, but I put question mark politics. I was trying to get out of. I was thinking of not talking politics on my channels anymore, but I don't think that's feasible. I don't
think it's fair. I don't think you should.
We should or shouldn't?
I think you should. You're entitled to an opinion on politics just like everybody else.
You could, you could set aside just a section, this is what we're going to do, and not make the whole damn program about it. But no, you can't deny the political side of it. That was...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I was thinking I ain't going to do it anymore because it just brings up negativity, then... then we all sit here and get negative. We need to be positive. But sometimes the news is negative, especially when they're attacking us all the time. Well, it feels like we're being attacked.
As an Illinois resident, it's tough to be positive.
You're right there. I mean, it just, I don't know. But anyway, like the whatchamacallit just now. It's kind of political in my opinion with that, what's his name, that actor from that TV show.
Jesse Smollett.
Yes, I wasn't going to mention his name. He doesn't deserve the notoriety in my opinion. But now, here you go, is it MSNBC or whatever you call it? They haven't even mentioned it on their show with their 4 main people in the evening. It hasn't been mentioned once in the last 3 days.
I was going to say, I'll bet they mentioned the shit out of it before it come out that he faked it all.
Oh, yeah, they were behind him 100%. Typical Trump people. That's the kind of stuff Trump did. But, I honestly, when I first heard the story, and they said with the MAGA hats on and going, this is Trump country. Chicago has never, ever been Trump country. And it never, ever will be.
And they wouldn't be at 2 in the morning like he claims either.
Yeah. And he managed to hold on to his sub sandwich too.
Yeah.
Something else, why is it now you only hear MAGA hat, not make America great again?
That's because the narrative has been changed by the other side.
I don't remember when patriotism was a bad thing.
They don't want the America great again to be tied with Trump. So they're not going to say it publicly. MAGA hats. They're making America great again hats, stupid asses.
Yeah. So, what I'm saying is I think the book should be thrown at him. I think the federal government should charge him with mail conspiracy or whatever.
Okay. If we're going to get into this, I'll go ahead and I'll talk about it. I didn't want to, but I'll talk about it.
Go for it.
He's being charged with filing a false police report, which is a very minor Class D felony.
Felony.
Right, but it's a Class D, okay? It's very little 1 to 3 year maximum sentence charge. A judge can only hand down a penalty based off of the crime, not the implications or the fallout of that crime, right? So the problem is he's facing a charge that is only penalized by 1 to 3 years for what he did. But the fallout of what he did would have actually been a race war. It really would have been a race war. Like, he would have had the LGBTQ community in an uproar. He would have had, like, the Rainbow Coalition in an uproar. He would have had the ACLU in an uproar. BLM would have had, like, a resurgence and a renaissance and an uproar. There'd be protests, riots. People would get hurt. Cops would get hurt, right? A judge cannot rule based off of that. So what they're actually doing is they're hoping that the prosecutor can prove that he sent himself the mail with the curious white powder, because then that turns into a federal domestic terrorism crime. Then he faces 10 to 15 years. That's what they want to throw the book at him for. Because if they're going to nip this in the bud, they need to make an example of this guy. And that's the only way they're going to do it that satisfies all parties. Because right now, the liberals, the Democrats, whatever, the ACLU, all of them were just salivating like Pavlov's dogs, waiting for this moment to, like, strike on the media and the people and everybody. And they got it taken away from them when the facts came out. So now you've got to hold that man accountable for what he potentially could have started. And the only way you can do that is get him with the maximum penalty allowed. And the only way you can get that to make it stick with anything useful is hit him for the federal crime. Because that's the story that most media outlets aren't even telling you. He sent himself a hate letter to the production company at Fox Studios with, like, racial slurs, homophobic slurs, everything. And he crushed up a bunch of Tylenol pills to make a white powder in the envelope. That's domestic terrorism. We went through this shit with anthrax. So if they can nail him on that, this dude is going to hang, figuratively speaking. That's what they want. They don't want the false report. That's like small potatoes.
Yeah, but I understand that, and that's what I want to happen too. But are they just going to slap him on the wrist and let him go?
I don't think so. With the testimony of the chief of police of Chicago, and with the fact that more evidence has been brought against him in the last 2 weeks than the Mueller case has brought against Trump in the last 2 years, this is a slam dunk. They're going to make a mockery of this guy. This dude is seriously going to hang. He's going to be left out to dry for this one. His career is over. Fox wrote off his character. He's already been fired. Nobody's backing this guy.
All right.
Michael Avenatti wouldn't even take this case.
Hadn't he taken the other guy?
He did take some other case, yes.
Yeah, he took the one who's being charged with 10 sexual assaults or some shit.
Yeah.
He's out on $1 million bond, you know. So, I tell you, I don't know. It's I don't know. I said it makes you wonder sometimes what this country's coming to. I mean, as I, you know, sometimes I'll watch, or I try not to watch it, but I'll pull up CNN's website and all those other ones on here, and I'm looking at them, and I see basically the same story, but I'm reading it, and I'm saying, that ain't, I mean, how are they getting that? It's like it's the same topic, but you got two different stories.
Different spins, exactly. I don't want to sound like a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist or whatever. The guy that comments says something that makes me, it reminds me of something that I've been taught is, when you see stories like this in the news, back in the day when journalistic integrity meant something, you could take it for face value, you could opine on it, and chances are it was pretty good. But nowadays, when you see a story like this Jussie Smollett thing, you need to ask yourself one very important question. What is the media trying to distract me from? Because this is all they're talking about. And there are far more important things going on right now. That's the question that needs to be answered. What are you being distracted from right now because of this bullshit? HRA,
Good
anybody?
point. I don't know what's being distracted. What do you think? What do you think they're distracting us from?
HR8, the Mueller case about to be wrapped up. 2 years, countless millions of dollars. Everything has been used. A testimony that says that Trump was officially told he's not a suspect, and nobody's covering that because they still want to take this guy down just because of his hair.
Oh yeah, they want to take him down just because of who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got nothing to do with his politics. They want to take him down because of who he is.
Yeah.
You know?
He flips over the table. He's the enemy of the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
To them.
But as you said, you control the media, you control the people.
You control the message, you control the people.
Oh, yeah.
That's only part of that message. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, anybody, since Local 223 brought this up, if anybody wants to do this as a joke, you've only got about a day left before the story just dies. But it'd be really funny if somebody out there does a parody video acting like a gun company with a bunch of cops standing around destroying Benchmade knives on camera. That would be hilarious.
Okay. The Benchmade fiasco.
Yeah.
I mean, is it... I mean, I think Squib you discussed it this morning. Wasn't it this morning you discussed it, or last night on Guns and Gear or whatever, Squib?
I discussed it both last night and this morning. I just don't think people are being objective. I'm not making excuses for the police or for Benchmade, and I think this is a great opportunity for us to make our voices heard as a community, saying no matter what the reasoning, no matter what the law, no matter what the blah, 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 just understand that if we think you're wronging us, we're going to boycott you. It's going to hurt you. And if companies take notice, maybe politicians will take notice. As far as the meat and potatoes of what happened, some of the videos that I've seen, some of the things that I've heard, it's the usual, I'm going to skim the headlines, make my own decision, and get on YouTube and run my mouth stuff instead of looking at it from all the angles and getting all your facts right before you're first to this breaking news like the fake news press is. And I don't think we do ourselves a service as a community, although you want to get the message out and although you want people to be on guard, on point about what's going on. There's a lot of people out there that just want the views, and they open their mouth before they're no better than the media when they do that. And I don't like that very much.
I really hate to burst your bubble, but this whole selective outrage thing against Benchmade, this is a challenge for those of you who are mad at Benchmade. Go look up the donor list that EOTech gave money to. Look up most of the major, quote, 2A groups out there or manufacturers, and go check out who they're donating their money to. And I think the answer will shock you. You know, we made this joke last night in the late night lobby about, man, I can't wait for a real manufacturer to actually be pro 2A. Because if you look at some of these actual manufacturers and who they're donating their money to, it's going to blow your mind. Some of them go straight to Dianne Feinstein. EOTech. Anyway, just food for thought.
I mean, even, I think what's the name mentioned on Guns and Gear last night. Even Smith and Wesson donates money to Democrat politicians.
Yeah, because
the fact of the matter more guns.
Exactly. The fact of the matter is they sell more guns, and they get more subscriptions, and they get more endorsements, and they get more memberships, because it's better to treat the symptoms than to sell the cure.
Well, it's also about corporate CEO greed. If you're on the board of directors for a big company, it is in your best interest for your company to be making money today, not making money tomorrow. You don't care how much money you make tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, or 10 years from now. You only care about how much money you're making today. And if something you can do is going to affect your bottom line for today, you're doing your job right. People don't seem to understand that unless it's a family-owned company, these execs hop from company to company. They don't even stay within their field. You might have an auto guy jump over to guns or an aviation guy jump over to electronics. They're CEOs. They don't care. What they're going to do is they're going to take on the job with a big signing bonus and as much money as they can get. They're going to get quarterly profit bonuses, and they're going to have a golden parachute worked into their contract so that when they leave or when they get asked to leave, that they get a big fat paycheck. And then they just go across the street to the next company and do the same thing over and over again. So if donating to people who are going to generate a panic and generate sales today, who cares if there's a Second Amendment 2 years from now? I'm going to be working for a different company. Who cares? That's literally what they do. And I know that might be shocking to some people, but I used to work with these people. They have no conscience. All they care about is how much they can fleece their company for today. What at the end of the business day today, how much is in the bank? I don't care about next week. It's bizarre.
Well, see, there's a reason why PR and marketing people are paid so well. Because business owners are about business. All they care about is their bottom dollar. It's the PR and marketing people who actually have a conscience, or they're selling you a conscience. That's all it is. That's the fact. That's the facts. These guys at the end of the day, they got to write paychecks, and they want to collect paychecks. They don't give a shit. They sell a product. That product is for liberty, yes, but your liberty is for sale for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I mean, for argument's sake, say for one of the big gun companies wants to expand their factory, but they have to have a change in the zoning laws, and if they get them to the Democrat here, vote them in. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the bottom line. They don't give a shit about the Second Amendment or about us.
They want the best corporate tax break for 10 years for building a facility in your state or city, right? They want the least amount of regulation, city, state, and federal, because all of that cuts into their bottom line. You're right to the last part of that, because they know they've already got you. They sell a product that you want. So at the end of the day, it's how low do you want to sell your rights for? Like, what's your bottom dollar? What's your bottom dollar on the morality scale? That's the answer to that.
Here, I mean, I mentioned this the other day in the chat. I think it was, wasn't it? I mean, you take what's his name, Tom Gresham, on his 3-hour talk show on Sundays. I believe it's sponsored by Springfield Armory, and Springfield Armory and Rock River, they done the dirty on the state of Illinois, you know, on the gun dealers in the state. But they're still chugging along. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, does it pay to? I mean, if you don't want to buy something from a company, that's your privilege. But it doesn't seem to have hurt Springfield. Now,
no, because some corporations are too big to fail. Look at the Kaepernick thing with Nike. People boycotted the Kaepernick thing, and for the first day, they lost, I think it was 1% total value in their stock. And then by the end of that whole disaster, they actually came out on top like 7%.
I think Rock River's closed.
Some businesses are just too big to fail.
Yeah. What was that, Tony?
I think Rock River closed. I would have to double check on that, but that's what I heard. Yeah.
Well, there's a big advertisement. I don't have it in this room with me. There's a big one-page glossy advertisement for Rock River Arms in the United States Concealed Carry Association magazine I just received.
Okay, I may be wrong. I just heard that. I'm repeating shit without checking it out.
You know. So, I mean, even them. I mean, that's the company I use. I like reading the magazine, but I use them for the insurance, just in case. You know, but they're taking them. I'm not saying they're supporting them, but they are. They're taking their money. Even, you know, even the people who are on our side, it's all about the bottom line. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. You know? So, it's a tough one. It really is. But we do need to be more. I'm doing what I can for the Second Amendment. It might not be much to some people, but I can only do what I can do. You know? Anyway, we've been going for an hour and a half here. unless anybody's got any other topics, I'll start winding it down. Tony?
Cats circling?
Do what?
Are the cats circling?
No, not yet, but they will be. Because it's getting close. They're laying on the floor in here right now. The big ones even came in and laid on the floor. So he's the one that normally attacks me, sticking his nails in my leg. You know, you think after all these years I'd wear long pants, wouldn't you? But no, I mean I wear short pants, and you look at my leg, I got little red dots all over it where he's.
I thought you wore bibs.
Do what?
I thought you wore bibs.
Well, I do when I go out. If I ain't going anywhere today, so I'm just wearing shorts and a shirt here.
I was gonna say he sits around the house naked. There's an image for you.
Oh God, that even puts me off. You know, actually, when I took a shower this morning, I walked past the mirror and I'm going, "Oh my God, what an ugly fat fucker!" You know. So, you know, I mean, hey, there's some guys out there that love big, beautiful women. Is there any women out there who like big, beautiful men?
They like big, beautiful wallets.
You know, so anyway, that's going way off topic. Plus, I'm getting hungry, guys.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, that was
shocker.
You know, I'm having hamburgers tonight.
What have you ate today so far?
The what?
What have you ate today so far?
This morning, I had, when I was setting things up for this show and listening to Caliber Corner, I ate some oatmeal. Instant oatmeal. I cheated. Warmed it up in the microwave. Okay, I bought one of those, you know, the brown sugar packets. You tip in and you add water and heat them up in the microwave.
Yeah, my lady likes those.
I put 2 packets in my bowl. You know, so that's what I had for breakfast. Then for lunch, I really haven't had anything. I've had a couple of biscuits. Sorry, cookies. I've had a couple of cookies that just to bide me over. So my lunch and dinner will be my hamburgers when I cook them.
I have a life hack for you guys out there who have Popeye's chicken nearby. If you buy the biscuits and you have a bunch of leftovers, throw them in your toaster oven for a few minutes so they're crunchy on the outside, split them in half, and you could pour white gravy and sausage on top of it, and it's epic.
Oh, talk about, I think you guys heard me. Deb's truck stop took gravy and biscuits off the menu.
Yeah. Did you ask why?
No, I'm going to. I didn't think I know him well enough, but I think when I go in there next week, I think I will ask him.
I mean, if they offer to put gravy on your biscuit, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. Yes, I was telling them yesterday in the chat for the people that weren't in there. They're taking it off the menu. Because if you go to my Facebook page, I posted some pictures of these biscuits and gravy. I mean, yeah. There was some guy in there yesterday. Was it yesterday? I was telling you. He ordered something that had a biscuit on it. Because some of these people, some of these farmers that go in there, I mean, I go in there around 10-ish eating breakfast. They're in there ordering lunch. You know?
Oh, they've been up since 4 a.m.
You know, yeah. But whatever he had, was having biscuit with it.
Yeah.
And the waitress said, "You want gravy on your biscuit?"
Hell yes.
You know? Of course he said yes. But biscuits and gravy isn't on the menu anymore. So,
because
I got to find out why.
It's a staple now, Rick.
Maybe get a wink at them.
Well,
no. Biscuits and gravy is like just, you know, a staple now. You don't have to ask for it because it's the norm.
He didn't get something that had brown gravy with it, and they put brown gravy on there, did he?
I didn't stay around to find out. It could have been. Well, I need to ask because I ordered my usual now is bacon, scrambled eggs, right? I get toast and make fried potatoes.
Yeah.
And he always asks me if I want gravy on my potatoes.
Oh,
I'll always say no.
Do it.
Why?
Gravy makes everything better.
Yeah, that's pretty much true.
It's
it's a good gravy.
Because you don't get your eggs sunny side up, you have to use the gravy as a binder.
And you got to make sure it's a good gravy, because some places they make it and they don't really make it. I don't think.
You'd already
I've
covered
got a couple places I've been, and
I tell you what, if it's the same gravy they put on the biscuits at Dad's truck stop, it's amazing.
Yes, sir. That's what it is. Have it put on your tater.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
it is.
Well, my daughter had.
But tonight I'm having hamburgers. I gotta go buy a grill.
With cheese?
No.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe I will. Put some. I'll slice some off my block of cheddar cheese and put that on there.
There you go.
You know.
I got 2 large pretzel pizzas yesterday from Little Caesars. They had, 4 preteen kids running around. They ate every bit of the pizza and all the breadsticks, everything. Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah, devoured it. I was expecting, hey, you get up in the morning, got a little piece of pizza.
I have found that pizza is actually better the day after. I got it about 3 days ago.
Yeah.
But when you warm it up the day after, just flick off all the salt on the edge of the crust and then reheat it like in a toaster oven. It's amazing. I don't know what happened for the better.
I love eating cold pizza the next day. But I don't eat much pizza as I used to, because pizza just ain't the same without a beer.
My daughter was 5 years old.
Just go together. You know?
She was 5 years old and she had waffles in the morning, right? And she says, Dad, I'm done with my waffles. Can I have pizza now? And it was morning. And it was just, I was like, you're mine. There's no question about it. That is my kid.
You are my spawn.
Dad, I ate my waffle. Can I have a piece of pizza now? I was like,
yeah.
And you're like, do you want it warmed up? And she says,
you want to blow that kid's mind? Make her, if you have a waffle maker, I have a Belgian waffle iron, right? Make her a Belgian waffle with pizza dough and just slather it with like sausage, a little bit of cheese, and a little bit of marinara. And then she gets the best of both worlds. It'll blow her mind. Use breakfast sausage, though. It'll blow her mind, I promise you.
Yeah. Well, that's enough. That's enough of all this food talk I'm getting. It's making me even more hungry. And the cats aren't laying down anymore. They're sitting up now. But they're getting ready to circle. And they move closer. You know?
I think I'm going to have me some baby back ribs for dinner tonight.
Yeah. So I'm going to start winding this down. So any plugs or shout-outs to let's see, who do we start with? David Bolin.
Yep. Thanks for having me, Rick, everybody. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Rick's Life as I See It. Check him out Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern for Shooting with Disabilities. And check out his giveaway. And also go to guntube.org and check out my giveaway video. Tonight's the last night to get in, so if you want some free ammo, do it now. Yes,
I signed up on that this morning. It took me all this time because, unfortunately, my username and password wouldn't work on GunTube, and Night Strike had to fix it, get it all working again. So I finally got in there this morning. So that's yeah. Okay, next is the one and only Patriot in the Dark.
Hey, thanks, Rick. Great chat. Enjoyed it. I'm going to take a nap now. No, if you haven't checked it out, check out my channel and do an EDC challenge. Just take a picture or a video, explain what you got, why you chose it, and then just link it in my EDC challenge video. And make sure you go over to gearwebsites.com and All in Anchor and buy some swag. And if you're feeling generous, buy some swag and send it to Rick so he can give it back to you.
That's
and
right.
That's talking to you, Rich, out there, guy winning every dang thing.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping Unknown User would win. Be honest with you. You know, he hasn't won. Unknown User hasn't won for a while. He might think I'm rigging it because he hasn't won for a while. You know. So, next is Sean. Any shout out for plug?
Thank you for the invite. Sorry, I was a little bit late.
That's
I
all
do
right.
have a tiny, paltry little YouTube channel with gun reviews and reloading videos until YouTube takes me down. If you like this little shit, you can find him on Instagram under the hashtag #IamAlex or Yorkies of Instagram. He was not my first choice, but he is now the only choice. So, thanks for inviting me.
I think he disagrees.
All right, next is Clib. Any shout outs or plugs?
No, thanks for sending out the link so I could drop in while I'm finishing up my reloading. Everybody have a good weekend. I'll see you around the interwebs.
All right. And Doty.
Squibby, you got the same twin press setup I do.
Oh, yeah, the leak, this is a classic cast, right?
I have the Challenger, but
I think this is the classic cast, and then this is their regular something or other. This is their inexpensive one. But this is the Jewel, the Lyman Spartan. So.
Oh.
I got nothing to plug. I mean, if you're over on YouTube and you're not a member of Gun Channels, why the hell not? It's free to join, free to enter. Go join the damn thing.
All right. That's it. I want to say thanks for everybody in the chat room for coming in on Gun Channel and YouTube. I wonder if I can rig it up to get doing it on GunTube too. I have to look into that. But anyway, the audio file for this show will be on Podbean, iTunes, and Stitcher within 24 hours of this show ending. And if you like what you heard or saw, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you.
Or at the very least, a middle finger.
And we'll see you on Wednesday at 7 p.m.
And congratulations, Andrew.